All right. Shalom, family. It's your brother Kanaiba coming at you once again with this video titled Local New York Rapper Chicken Dun Dada Unalived by Thug, Part 1. Okay, so earlier this month in August, a local New York rapper named Chicken Dun Dada, he was basically unalived on August 7th, okay, which coincidentally is my birthday, the day I was born. But that's neither here nor there. But yeah, on August 7th, this actually happened to this local New York rapper, right? And when you actually look into the story, how everything transpired, and when you actually look at the clip of him actually being unalived, things actually start to look more and more suspicious. Okay, this doesn't look like your, everyday run-of-the-mill, just street beef to me. Okay, on the surface level, maybe that's what it was, but to me, it looks deeper and more ritualistic once you actually know more about the story. Okay. But yeah, this particular case actually intrigued me, and I'm definitely going to do at least 2 parts on this, okay? Because this story is actually deeper than what people think, even though he was just a local rapper, okay? This is much deeper than that, okay? So we're going to dive into it, all right? And actually unpack things from a spiritual vantage point, okay? And of course, this is just going to be my critique. I could be wrong, but this is the way I see it. All right. So without further ado, let's get right into it. Okay.
Okay, we back in the Bronx. Check this out.
All right. So right off rip, I'm seeing something here. Okay. Now, I'm not too familiar with New York, but I know the area that this actually happened in was Soundview. Okay. Now, I'm guessing this may be a train station here, but notice it's I'm guessing train station number 6. Okay. Now, we know how important the number 6 is on the left-hand side. Okay, just something to point out, but right off rip, we see where this is going. Okay, but it gets much deeper. Okay, let's continue.
Nadia, a community is mourning today after a 33-year-old man was shot in the head.
See, I told you it gets deeper. Okay, now the rapper that was basically murdered or unalived, he was 33 years old. Okay. Now, if you've been following me for a while, you should already know what that number 33 represents. Okay. That number 33, of course, it represents enlightenment. That's one of the things it represents. That's why the color orange is the only color in gematria that equals 33. Okay. That color represents enlightenment. And of course, the number 33 also represents sacrifice. Okay, now the number 33 actually represents sacrifice both on the left and right hand side. Okay, because again, the left hand side is meant to mimic the right hand side. Okay, when you look at the right hand side, okay, when you look at the Holy Scriptures, our Lord, Yahweh Shai, whom the world knows as Jesus Christ, what age was he sacrificed at for the children of Israel? Okay, he was sacrificed at the age of 33. Okay, so of course the left hand side has to mimic that. Okay, and use that number as sacrifice on the left hand side as well. Okay, but anyway, let's continue.
And killed last night on Westchester Avenue. If you take a look here, you can see there is a growing makeshift memorial here outside of the smoke shop where it happened. We saw people today lighting candles here, heartbroken. We're told shots were fired around 10:30 last night, right outside 1629 Westchester Avenue, just steps away from the Morrison Avenue train station. When police got here, they found the victim with a gunshot wound to the head. People in the neighborhood say the victim was working at the smoke shop where it happened.
All right, so I'm going to be talking a little bit more about this particular scene, the area where it happened. I'm going to be talking about it a little bit more later on in the series, but I do want to point out, notice in the background, it looks like the cop is taking a picture there. Look at that particular area there. Right there in the yellow. It appears to be, I don't know what it is, but from afar, it looks like a cross. Okay, and notice the background is yellow. That color yellow, just like the color orange, represents enlightenment. Okay, but notice the yellow had to be the background of that particular image. That image looks like a cross. I don't know what exactly it is, but from afar, it looks like a cross. Okay. Actually, a cross with a upside down triangle on it, which is very telling. We actually might talk about that a little bit more down further in this series too, because that upside down triangle that represents the divine feminine. We're going to be talking about the divine feminine and this particular story as well, because I believe it plays a part too. Okay, but it's just very curious that that particular shape is there. And of course, he died at the age of 33. Okay, but anyway, let's continue.
EMS rushed him to Jacoby Hospital where he died.
Jacoby Hospital. Okay, and I guarantee you the root word is Jacob. Okay, now we know our Lord Yahushua, he comes from Jacob, from one of the 12 tribes of Israel. Okay, he comes from Jacob by way of the tribe of Judah. Okay, but again, this brother that was basically shot in the head, of course, he died at the age of 33, and he, of course, is also an Israelite. Okay, looks as if he could be from one of the northern kingdom tribes. Okay, he was Hispanic, right? But that's also telling too. Even the hospital he died at. Okay, let's continue.
We saw blood on the ground and a single shell casing marker.
Now, I know I keep freezing it, but please bear with me, okay, because I have to bring these points out. Now, I want you to notice the plants in the background. It's in the big pots there. Okay, all of this is essential here. Okay, the plants there, and the fact that it happened in front of a smoke shop, which is also dealing with plants. Okay, weed, and the fact that he worked there. All of this, it plays a part in this plot. Okay, but just bear with me, because as you know, I always bring things full circle. Okay, I'm just laying the foundation, but we gonna spin the block and we're gonna bring it right back here. Okay, I am going to speak on this. Make no mistake about it. Okay, but anyway, let's continue.
In the doorway, and the area was taped off as detectives flooded the scene. We're told that police are looking for a man last seen wearing a dark colored hoodie, dark sweatpants, black and red sneakers, and a black face mask. They tell us that they believe the shooting may have been targeted, and right now it's unclear what happened leading up to the shooting, and the name of that victim has not yet been released. But everyone in this neighborhood that I've spoken to off camera tells me that he was a great person. From Soundview.
The person killed is said to be a rapper named Dada. To be honest, we don't know much about this guy. It's said that when you pass away, people find out who you are. When it comes to making music, some people are new to this and not true to this. Dada, however, was true to this. If you search him up, you can see he has a video recorded by the legendary K-Mac, Spike Tarantino. This was over 10 years ago, so you know he been at the music for some time.
Still trapping out the bando. I'm trapping out the bando. Now go and get your money right. I'm trying to get my money right.
Based on the name, Chicken, we assume he is from Bronx River Projects or the surrounding blocks, as they refer to their strip as Chicken Avenue. Also, on this Spike Tarantino video, he shouts out Chicken Avenue, as well as Stratford Avenue, with Stratford Avenue being Chicken Avenue's neighboring block. This area is notoriously known to harbor members of the Crips Dirt Gang.
Right, so now we got a bit of background as to why his rap name is what it is, being Chicken. But we're gonna talk more about his name, but not the first part. Okay, probably in part 2, we're gonna deal with his name being Chicken Dada. Okay, because believe it or not, I believe that's the deeper part of this particular ritual, the last part of his rap name, Dada. Okay, but we're going to get into that later on, okay? But listening to what the gentleman just said, the narrative would lead you to believe that this happened because it was more gang related. It was beef, ops involved, okay? And we're actually going to get into what happened the day before he was actually murdered. Okay, we're going to get into that. Okay, because that's the narrative that's being spent. All this happened because of what happened the day before on August 6th. Okay, but we're going to get into all that. Okay, but anyway, let's continue.
We did a story on some of those guys. In recent times, he has been doing music and released a song with Envy Kane about 4 years ago. However, a few days ago, LLNYC had released the footage of the crime scene and got some info from 2 locals as to the nature of the area where the shooting took place or whatnot.
Nah, that's crazy for real.
Now, I want y'all to pay close attention to this, okay? Because believe it or not, I believe this plays an integral part of this whole storyline as well, okay? There is a reason why they had 2 females, okay, 2 females to actually speak on this situation in this interview, okay, basically somewhat mourning over the death of Mr. Chicken Dada, okay. Now, whether or not these 2 women are privy to the ritual that's going on, I can't say. They may not be. Okay, but there's a reason why they were chosen to do this interview, because it plays into the ritual. Okay, even just looking at the color scheme. Okay, they picked 2 women, one wearing white, one wearing black. Okay, that's dealing with what? Duality. Okay, but I want you to notice something. Like I said, there's a reason they had the 2 women do this interview, and notice over the shoulder, behind them, over the shoulder of both of them, is a plant behind both of them. In that big vase, there's a plant behind each one of them. Just look at how the interview goes. And there is a reason for that. Okay, but don't worry. Like I said, we're going to spin the block and I'm going to talk about this. It may be in part 2, but we're going to come back to this. Make no mistake about that. Okay, let's let the interview play.
Seriously, like, I don't know what to tell you. Whoever that was, rest in peace. I hope he's safe. I hope he didn't pass away for real. That ass.
I think I know the guy. This is actually the smoke shop I go to. I'm 21, by the way.
So it's a smoke shop?
Yeah.
This is a smoke shop I go to. We were literally just here.
Yo, that was right at the corner store right there, getting drinks.
Right before getting ice cups.
Word.
And we was right here. Then I went to Fine Fair. I come back and I was like, what happened? There was mad police and it's crazy out here.
It is crazy. It really is. It's not safe out here. Y'all be careful for real.
Word.
No.
How often you know the shootings in the area?
It's not that much.
I got the Citizen app. It be ringing every day.
No, for real.
Ringing every day.
But it don't really be that too much shootings over here for real.
Not that I've ever seen it. Like I've seen it on the news.
This is too close. It's too local.
Word. I don't like that.
I worry about your safety around here.
Honestly, after this, because I don't like to see flood, I'm very worried. Like, I don't think I ever want to go here no more.
I don't even want to walk on this block for real.
Word.
Now, this shop says gift shop, but you're saying it's a smoke shop. Can you tell me more about that?
That's the gift. The smoke.
Right, that's
Okay, this is diabolical. Okay, this happens to be diabolical. And let me explain why. Notice how the interviewer now placed emphasis on the actual smoke shop and the name of the smoke shop. Okay, notice it's called The Gift. Really, the name of the store is The Gift Shop. Okay, it's called The Gift Shop. But only the word gift is lit up. Okay, on the right, the word shop is actually dim. Okay, but the point being, and there's a reason for that too. I'll probably get into that too. But the reason I'm shedding light on this, okay, notice the word gift is in what color? It's in red. The two ladies are wearing what? Black and white. You put that together, what does that give you? The black, white, and red. That color scheme represents sacrifice. Okay, it's known as the black mass. It represents sacrifice. Black, white, and red. Okay, like I said, this is diabolical. But again, you have to look at these things from a spiritual vantage point. Okay, let's continue.
the gift, for real.
So you want to bring back the person who did pass away.
He did?
You
Oh my
lying.
God. Nah, rest in peace. I send my condolences to his family for real, because that's
I
wild.
know who it was. I literally seen him the other day. I went in there. I needed to throw something out. He was showing me the trash and getting his hair braided. I literally saw him. That was like.
So you know
almost
who it
last
is?
weekend. Yeah.
I mean, we don't thoroughly know him like that, but like we see him for real.
I've
Like we
seen
see him a lot, like in
he
front of
be
the
hanging
spot.
out in front of the thing. I've seen him listening to like music, hanging out with his friends. He'd be in the shop.
He really just be chilling
Yeah,
for real.
like he don't. I never seen him in an actual problem.
Right. So
He's
whoever
very
did it,
calm and chill all the time.
nah, whoever did it, that's wild.
Very calm to himself.
Yeah,
like
he
he don't
be by
bother no
himself,
one.
really just be chilling.
Every time I go in there, he's like greeting. He be nice. Like there's never no issue.
Right. So notice how the interview went. Once the interviewer actually told them that that Chicken Dada actually died, it instantly turned into the two women mourning for him. Okay. And of course, there's a reason for that. Okay. I believe, and this is just my critique, I could be wrong, but I believe that plays a part of this particular ritual that's actually going on. Okay. But anyway, what we're going to do now, we're actually going to get into the video clip. We're going to go to the video clip of what actually happened to him, the actual scene of him, what looked to be, or what appeared to be him being set up by his friend, by his homeboy. Okay, now, of course, we don't know for sure, but the way it looked, I mean, it looked like a setup. Okay, so without further ado, let's actually get into that clip and let's actually, let's analyze it. Let's break that down. Okay.
Like, why you got me G? Call my phone. I said to the wife, turn the beat.
Now, this is the part of this particular clip that I really don't see a lot of people talking about. Okay. The gentleman in the blue is actually supposed to be his homeboy from what I'm hearing. Notice on both of the chairs, it looks like a cell phone. It's probably each one of their cell phones. Okay. I could be wrong, but that's what it looks like, right? Notice the first thing he does, he looks down at the cell phone. I don't know if he got a text telling him that, okay, it's about to go down, or he's looking to see what time it is because he knew this was supposed to happen at a specific point in time. But he definitely is looking down at what appears to be a cell phone. Okay, let's keep going.
You were cold, nigga 3. What the fuck be how do you see? Bow, bitch got hit in the feet. Bow, I do a shot and see. Maneuver, we was running through the peas, yellow from the D's. High speed, yellow from the keys.
Now notice, after he looked at the cell phone, he actually said something to Chicken Dada. Okay, now this is just me speculating. I don't know what was said, obviously, but he may have told him that he's about to go back into the store. He may have asked him, did you want something or what have you? Okay, but he said something to him. Okay, now we see he's looking up the street. He's looking up the street and he sees the assailant actually coming. Okay, he actually sees the gentleman coming down the street, the thug that's about to carry out this ritual. Okay, let's continue. Let's see how this transpires. So as we see, after he looks up the street and he sees the assailant coming, what does he proceed to do? He wipes his nose. Basically, what it looks like, he's giving the assailant a sign as to, okay, get ready to carry out the ritual. Okay, I'm going to get out the way. Then do what you got to do. Get it done. But he's definitely giving this man a signal, or so it appears. And there's a reason why he wiped his nose in particular, which we're going to get into right now. Let's take a look. So as we see here, we have some information from ChatGPT about what does wipe a nigga's nose mean in slang. Because believe it or not, that is a term in urban slang. Okay, wipe a nigga nose. Let's see what it means. It says in slang, especially in rap and street culture, wipe a nigga nose doesn't literally mean cleaning someone's face. It usually means killing or robbing someone. It's a metaphor for wiping them out. Look, setting someone up or catching them lacking. Like handling them in a violent way. Is that not what we're watching right now? Okay, let's continue. We got more here. So moving right along, it also says sometimes it can also mean embarrassing or defeating someone badly, depending on the context. Okay, context is key. But we know in this context, it literally means wiping them out. Okay, unaliving them. Right? Let's continue. It says the phrase comes from the idea of wiping a nose like with a tissue, but in slang, it's flipped to mean removing someone from the picture. Okay, it says, that's all we need there. So, yeah. So, in slang, when you say you're going to wipe a nigga nose, that literally means to 86 them, get them out of here. Or in this case, give them the old 33, if you know what I mean. Okay, the more and more we look at this, the more and more it appears to be a sacrifice. Okay, masked in street beef. Okay, but we're gonna get deeper into it though. But now that we have this bit of information, it should be more clear what's going on here. Okay, let's continue. Let's let the video play out. So as we just saw, immediately after his so-called friend wiped his nose, he walked away. Okay, he got out of Dodge. And in a minute here, we're actually going to look at this same video from another angle, and we're going to see where he went. This whole thing has setup written all over it. Okay, but immediately after he wiped his nose, he got out of Dodge, and then the assailant waited. He waited until he got out the way. That lets you know that this was a professional hit. Okay, this was a professional hit. This really wasn't street beef, so to speak. Okay, if this was about the ops, trust me, he wouldn't have been worried about the friend. He would have shot both of them. Okay, because 9 times out of 10, the old saying is birds of a feather flock together. Okay, if that was Chicken Dada's ops, then 9 times out of 10, it would have been his friend's ops too. If this is really street beef. Okay, but the fact that he waited for his quote unquote friend to get out of the way lets me know that this was a professional hit. There was a target that he had to get, and he had to make sure that this ritual was carried out. That's why he had to shoot him at point blank range. He had to make sure he was dead. Okay, honestly, if this was street beef, he really could have killed both of them easily. Okay, and he didn't have to do it at point blank range. He was really close enough to shoot both of them and get both of them out of here if it was truly street beef. But that's not the case. He literally waited for the friend to get out of the way so he can shoot Chicken Dada at point blank range. That's how you know this was more personal. Okay, it was a professional hit. Okay, but what we're going to do now is we're going to go to another news report and actually see this particular scene from another angle. Okay, let's take a look.
With breaking new developments this morning on 12. A break in the investigation into a deadly shooting in Soundview earlier this month. Police just released new images of a possible shooter. News 12's Brittany Cadet joins us now. She's back at the scene on Westchester Avenue with a look at those photos. Good morning, Brittany.
Yeah, Noel, good morning. These are the photos that police have released. As you can see, they're very clear, and you can see the suspect's face.
Now, this is stereotyping if I ever seen it. Okay, look at both of those pictures. Those are two separate people. They don't look anything alike except for maybe the hairstyle. But this just goes into that old false stereotype that all black people look alike. Okay, but to me, that's clearly two different people.
Police believe he is responsible for shooting 33-year-old Ralph Herrera to death here on Westchester Avenue earlier this month.
All right, so now we're about to actually watch the same scene of Chicken Dada being ritualistically removed play out. Okay, but we're going to see it from a different angle. So when we go to the video, I want you to look at the top right-hand corner of the screen. That's where it's going to play out at. Okay, but look at his friend in particular. I want you to see what he does from this angle. Okay, let's take a look.
Now take a look at the surveillance video that we were able to obtain here. You can see those chilling moments when those shots were fired. First, keep your eyes on the top right corner of your screen. The video shows Herrera wearing...
Now look at that. What did I tell y'all? His friend literally, not only did he walk away, he walked back inside of the gift shop, aka the smoke shop. Okay, and the assailant waited good until he went back inside to make his move. And you mean to tell me this was not a setup? It clearly looks like a setup. Okay, this was diabolical. Okay, this was completely diabolical. But here again, this is exactly why the scriptures say what it says about dealing with friends, which we're going to get into that here in a second. Okay.
What appears to be a white tank top and jean shorts, standing in front of a shop here near the Morris Avenue Soundview train station. Then from the bottom of your screen, you see the highlighted person in a hoodie run up on the victim, pull out a gun, and shoot him. And we did freeze the video right before those shots were fired, and bystanders ran to go help, but Herrera died at the hospital. And just a few weeks later...
All right, so it's a few things I want to point out here. Okay, first, you actually get a more clear shot of the store that he was killed in front of. Okay, notice it says gift, but like I was saying earlier, it's really the gift shop. Look, the word shop is not lit up, but the word gift is. Okay, now when you actually go into the gematria calculator and type in the word gift, I believe it comes out to a numerical value of 42. Okay, the number 42 is also an allusion to 7-6. Okay, 7 times 6 is 42. 7-6 or 76 is what? It represents Saturn or the Capricorn, the goat. Okay. And now when you look at to the left of that, all the numbers that's highlighted on that sign, you have 10, 7, 5, 3, and $2, right? When you add those numbers up, it comes out to what? 27. Now, I know many of you have probably already heard of this, but there's something known as the 27 Club, okay? Now, typically, that involves celebrities that died at the age of 27. But I just found it curious that all those numbers put together actually come out to equal 27. Actually kind of curious. Okay. But anyway, let's continue. So real quick, just to confirm, I actually went to the gematria calculator. And of course, I typed in the word gift. And it indeed comes out to equal 42, as we see here. Okay, a lot, and here you have these are a lot of esoteric numbers when you actually type in the word gift. But what stands out the most to me, of course, is 42, and the reverse reduction being 21. 21 is actually an allusion to 777. Okay, which is very important. We're gonna get into that too. But of course, 777 actually represents the same order out of chaos. Okay, but anyway, let's move forward here.
There are still candles lit outside where that shooting happened. They're still lit in honor of Herrera's memory here, but police are asking if anybody has any information on who we just showed you or any information on what happened here to call Crime Stoppers. For now, we're live here in Soundview. I'm Brittany Cadet, News 12, The Bronx.
All right, so before we move forward with the story, I said we were going to get to the scriptures concerning a friend. Okay. Now, here's what's so amazing about this whole thing. Okay. This is how you know the Most High is in control of every single thing. Okay. Now, to me, it seems like this whole ritual was able to be carried out because his quote unquote so-called friend set him up, right? Now, this whole thing, we know that he was unalived on August 7th, but people really believe that this stems from something that happened the day before, which would have been on August the 6th. Okay, so that's August the 6th and August the 7th. 6-7. This is Ecclesiasticus chapter 6 and verse 7 concerning what? A friend. And he just so happened to be set up by a friend. You have to look at these things from a spiritual vantage point. This is amazing. Okay, but let's get into it. This is Sirach chapter 6 and verse 7, and it reads, It says, if thou wouldest get a friend, prove him first, and be not hasty to credit him. Okay, everybody is not your friend. Everybody may not be worthy to be your friend. Everybody is not worthy to be within your circle. Okay, you have to prove a friend. They have to stand the test of time. Okay, you can't meet this person one day and then a week later, okay, they're your friend. No. You have to prove that friend. You have to prove that loyalty that should come with a friend. You can't be hasty to just give them that title. Okay, because some people can call themselves your friend, but they could have an ulterior motive and really be an enemy. And that's really what Sirach chapter 6, verse 7 on down is really going into. Okay, I'm not going to read all of it, but those are really important verses dealing with friends. Okay, so now we're actually going to jump a bit and we're going to jump down to verse 13. Okay, let's take a look. So this is Sirach chapter 6 and verse 13, and it reads, it says, separate thyself from thine enemies and take heed of thy friends. Okay, now looking at this, again, this is another one of those things you have to really look at this verse with a spiritual eye. Okay, what is the Most High trying to tell us? The first part of the verse says, separate thyself from thine enemies. Now we know on a scale of nationhood, our enemies are whom? As Israelites, our enemies are the other nations. Now, what separates us from our enemies, aka the other nations? It's the law. The law that the Most High gave us. What number represents the law? 613. This is Ecclesiasticus chapter 6 and verse 13. I'm telling you, man, the Most High is amazing. But a lot of times these verses, there's layers of understanding to just one verse. Okay, and you have to look at these things with a spiritual eye. Okay, but I just found that amazing. Okay, but this verse is telling us we have to separate ourselves from our enemies, but take heed to our friends. You have to really, really take heed. Know who your real friends are. Okay, and this also proves that saying in the world, keep your friends close and your enemies closer, that's a lie. That's not what the Bible says. The Bible actually says separate yourself from your enemies. Okay, but you do need to take heed of your friends. You have to really watch who's really your friend, because the person that's calling themselves your friend, they're able to get closer to you, which gives them more opportunity to do more damage to you than an actual enemy. This is why you have to really take heed to your friends. And we actually saw this play out in those clips with Chicken Dada. He did not really take heed of whom his real friends are. Because as I've been hearing that the guy that was in that video was supposed to be his homeboy. Okay. So with that, let's move forward. Okay.